Right, folks, welcome to our Cheltenham Previews. If you don't know how we're going to work them, if you watch back on our Dundalk Previews, or if you do watch our Dundalk Previews regularly, you'll know exactly how we're going to work this. Me, Dean and Alan are going to give our selections, really, and hopefully knock a few winners and maybe a few nice each-way prices out. Dean, anything to add?
No, definitely not. I think it's just hopefully people enjoy the week and make a few points. That's the important things, and all steam ahead then, full steam ahead then for Dundalk on Friday night. Hopefully.
Yep. If we do half as good as we do at Dundalk, we'd be doing all right.
You're right.
And just on that note, for those of you who have been watching the videos, will know that Hollywood Bets are running the Punters Challenge for Dundalk. And they are now running it for Cheltenham too. So each day of the Cheltenham Festival, they have a prize pool of €250 available. So yeah, it's a free competition. If you don't want to deposit money into a betting account, all money then would go to charity. But if you do have a betting account, then the money's yours if you win, really.
You bet €10 on the day up until the last race, I think it is, to avail of or to be in with a chance of winning the cash prize. Like anybody that follows our previews at Dundalk and maybe follows along with the Hollywood Bets challenge or Punters Challenge at Dundalk, it's really fun. Covers the day. It's about a crack. You get to see who's all entered and who's picked what and what points, and it's a good way for testing your self out against a pile of other people who love Dundalk or now Cheltenham.
Yeah, like that's it. Like if you don't fancy having a bet yourself, like it's a fun way of getting involved, really.
Yeah, and it lasts the whole day as well, like which is the exciting thing.
Exactly.
And they work it by. Are they working it, Ryan, the same as the Dundalk? How many's entered in the race? You get points for, so say if you won a 5-horse race, you get 5 points for that race, and then if your selection one's at 4-1, you get another 4 points on top of that. Is that correct?
There will be a tutorial video on our Twitter page and our Facebook pages tomorrow.
Yeah, so do be sure to check them out. And I think if you go onto the hollywoodbets.ie for anybody listening or watching them from the Republic of Ireland, they will have a tutorial on their website as well for it. It'll be near enough at the top. I think I've seen the day when I was on the website.
Yeah, and the links all that will be in the description below. Now, anyway, Dean, into the Cheltenham stuff. We'll have Alan on. Hey, folks, we are here for a Cheltenham preview. One with the actual declarations and not anti-post. So we can't pick non-runners. Probably will. We'll start with the Supreme. And my lay of the festival is here. Appreciate it. Willie Mullins trains 10 and rides. He won the Chanel Pharma, all right. I do like Alan's selection here. And I suppose the one that I would be going for is Metier. I mentioned him in the anti-post video. Sean Bowen rides for Harry Fry. He did win the Talworth. Fiddler on the Roof won that last year and ran an alright race in Supreme last year as well. I have been keen on Metier for quite some time now, Dean. You know that better than anyone. And yeah, I think he's really a hell of a horse. In fairness, I think he's going to hit top fucking form coming off the Cheltenham here. And I would like to see him win this at a nice price. I think he's 9-2 or something. Yeah. I'll go for it.
Ballyadam for me, pretty much like you, Ryan. I've been a fan of Ballyadam most of the season. He really impressed me in Down Royal and Hurdle's debut. He went on the Fairy House and won the Grade 1, the Bar 1 race in Royal Bond. I thought that was a very impressive performance. He battled it out well. Now, he was below power at Christmas, and we all know Gordon Elliott's horses were slightly below power. He was much better at the Dublin Racing Festival when he finished second, to appreciate it. Now, on ground that was never going to suit him, he travelled up, and on the bend turning in, he loomed up as if he was going to challenge him when he flattened out. Now, that for me, on better ground, we're going to see a Supreme with only 8 runners. It's not going to be the same. I think Ballyadam it'll turn into a bit of a speed test, and I think he might actually just have too much speed for Appreciated.
Yeah. And what I think what Appreciated is the last 12 winners of this were either 5 or 6 year olds. Appreciated 7 now. So if you want to look at stats, like you may reel off Appreciated from the past 12 years anyway, just based on age. But like I said, Matthew's win in the Tallworth was so impressive. Like Sean Bowen gave a shake of the reins. He went on by about 12 lengths to shake him up Harry in second. I thought that was very impressive. Dean, I don't know if you agree with either me or Al with our picks.
Yeah, like Ryan, I agree with both yours. Like, you know, I know you're keen on Medier for quite a while, and like Appreciated has beat Ballyadam before. I don't think Ballyadam has the attributes to go with Appreciated. Like, you know, 7-4, 5-4 now. Like the field's cut up to 8. It's a really small field. Like there's nothing here now. I think that's going to trouble Appreciated. I think he wins this. Like it's boring going for the favourite. I know that, but like, you know, 2-time Grade 1 winner. You know, Ballyadam's chased him home a couple of times. Soaring Glory won I think it was Grade 3 last time out. Metier won Grade 1. I think, you know, sets the standard in what he's raced against.
Yeah, just in terms of the pace, are you not worried, Dean, in any way that For Pleasure might set off in front, Appreciated won't have it his own way, and then it may get turned into a speed test?
I don't think Townsend will let that happen, because we all know Appreciated stays further. You know, if that one wants to bomb out in front and you know, set its own pace, grand, that'll do Townsend no bother. But if it's not suiting him down the back straight, you can be guaranteed he's not going to sit on it and let the race not be run to suit him. Like.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll move on to the Oracle boys, and Shishkin is the big horse here. Nicky Henderson, Nick with Boinville. I have been Shishkin's biggest critic all year. Well, you've joined me, really, haven't you? But for me, the price is far too short here, and I am again going to get him beat here. I'm going to try to get beat, or just even without Shishkin in the market completely. I am going for Franco Deporte, Willie Mullins, Paul Townend. He's won a Grade 1. You know, he's beat the likes of Dover Star and Field Stagey. Yeah, look, he then ran very credible second behind an Ergamine. And look, if Franco Deporte does win here, how good can an Ergamine? How good does that make an Ergamine? Like, an Ergamine destroyed Franco Deporte, really. Yeah, but I just feel there's more to come from Franco Deporte, and 10-1 looks a good price, but maybe you probably get a good price without Shishkin as well.
Yeah, I would say this is probably a race to be taken on without the favourite, because you might get decent prices around the rest of the field. All Mankind, you know, he's a bit of an oddball. He likes to get on with things out in front and bomb on, but he's prone to making slight mistakes, and I would love to see how that test comes about here and this Grade 1, because he's coming up against some good horses. You know, Captain Guinness was really unlucky last time on falling, and as when we were talking to Henry lads, man, he says like it's very uncharacteristic for that horse. You know, I would expect to see Captain Guinness be a whole lot better here. Franco Deporte, Ryan, as mentioned, has a great shout as well. Mm-hmm. I can see it being either Franco Deporte or Captain Guinness coming on the first two. You know, if you take Shishkin out of it and the betting without market.
Yeah, I'd been agreeing, lad. It's like Shishkin probably looks the one to beat. Look, we've talked about this in the anti-post, and we've talked about it like all year between ourselves. He probably has beaten nothing, but he's coming here off the back of a win in the Supreme last year. He has the course form. Captain Guinness, he spoke to Henry, Dean, as you said, and he said touch wood that everything was good with his jumping. I'd be keen in the same thing. I'd be more looking maybe to play the forecast, Shishkin to beat Captain Guinness. Would it pay better than Captain Guinness without? He maybe 3-1 in a round without. Will the forecast pay more than 3-1? Look, if you get caught then with Captain Guinness beating Shishkin, you're in trouble. It's a very small player race. I wouldn't get too involved.
Yeah, I do think like Siskin's the quality horse in the field. I think it really is. If you're looking for value, you're going to be taking him on in the betting without market, because you want to avoid him because he probably is the more realistic winner of the race, like hands down.
Yeah, I just have my doubts about what he's done this year. I know what he's done has been relatively comfortable. He hasn't been challenged too much, but I want to take him on so badly because I've been such a big critic of him. Fair enough, I'll hold my hands up and say, right, he is actually as good as what people are saying, but yeah, I just want to take him on.
Yeah, I was in the same boat, Ryan. Like, when we talked about it on the preview or earlier on before with one of the lads, like, I wanted to take him on with energamine or energamine, whatever way it's pronounced, but I can't see any of the rest of them really giving him as hard of a time as energamine would have.
Yeah, there is caught quite a bit. Like, there's only 6 runners in a night. I think I did see on Twitter somewhere that someone said Tizard Tizard's not putting Eldorado Allen in here, so that'd be only 5 runners now.
Yeah, so, seemingly was entered up in a handicap and left in the Arkle in an error. So you're going to have 5 in it. Similar enough. All Man King probably makes the pace. Shishkin sits off it. The 2 Irish ones sit behind that, and then we see where we go from there.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, shall we move on to the ultimate handicap? I don't know, lads. There's 3 or 4 that's kind of caught my eye here. Pim for Nicky Henderson and Nico Boinville again. They could have a very good day in truth. He's won at the course before over a similar distance. He's usually better fresh, and he's had, I think, 3-4 month layoff now, so you can say that he's fairly fresh coming up to this. He was 5th in November and listed behind York Hill when York Hill won 6-6-1. And before that, he did win in a small field. The other 2 in that were Dominant Sure and If the Cap Fits. So it's a very good field, but him looks a big price and probably each way value here. The one that probably is the one to beat would be Happy Go Lucky for me, Kim Bailey's horse. And Dave Bass is going to ride it. He won a novice at Cheltenham in December, and he was 4th in last year's Martin Pipe, I think it was. And before that, he was 3rd in the Blackmore the season before. Yeah, look, he's very lightly raced, in fairness, for a horse of that caliber. And yeah, he looks very tough to beat so far. 2nd to Getaway Trump, I think he was this season. And then he won at Stratford. I think it was, or I could have the 2 of them mixed up. It could have been the other way around. But it was that anyway. I do think Happy Go Lucky's a good show here. Probably is the one to beat, in fairness.
Cap odds for me. Venetia Williams really starting to come under form in the last last 7 days to 7 to 10 days. Like, I'm there about 16-1 with Bet365. 4th last time out, and not disgraced. Albeit I won her the previous time. I just think there's a lot to like. Top weight down here could be hard to carry, but I just think with the way the Venetia Williams team are firing at the minute, and I can see her being hard to beat. Or this horse being hard to beat here. And it's in there, as I say, 16-1. So like you're going to get good value each way. But I definitely think this horse could be a good shout.
Yeah, I'm following one now that I've kind of followed for a long while, thinking there's a big pot in it. Discordantly for Jessica Harrington and Robbie Powell. This horse really caught the eye at Leopardstown over Christmas when it jumped good, like it jumped well the whole way around. Went to the Tiestes, unseated the 2nd. Very, very novice. He jumped much better last time and then fell 5 out. He will need to brush up his jumping. I just seen there was a wee bit of a move, 16s, 14s, 12s in the last, say, since the declarations have come out. He's one just to keep an eye on in the market. He's a small each way chance.
Yeah. Like I said, his jumping's been a bit sketchy lately. But yeah, when he does run, he's fairly good, in fairness. I can't knock that. We move on to the champion hurdle. Honeysuckle, lads. Henry Brahma, Rachel Blackmore. Is there much more to say? Look, she absolutely ruined the Irish champion hurdle field. In fairness, tore them to pieces. And yeah, she's got that 7-time mare allowance as well. I know Epton does it as well, but the two of them are going to be miles on top of the field, really, aren't they? You'd imagine. But for me, I think Honeysuckle is just a lot more classy than Epton, and she is unbeaten for a reason.
Yeah. Like, I think with the Argyll cutting up the way it has, it really has switched all attention to this being the biggest and best race of the day. Now, we're seeing a fantastic mare in Honeysuckle. Epatante is equally as good in her own right. And then, like, Goshen's found a bit of form, albeit last time out, and really kind of deep ground. So, like, it's going to be a real good race. Like, and there's a couple of other horses on there as well that the one that beat Epatante last time out. I just think this race is going to be it's going to be a real fun one to watch, because we know Goshen's going to bomb out. Honeysuckle likes to kind of make the pace a wee bit as well, albeit not as helter-skelter as Goshen, but it's going to be really, really interesting. But I have to stick with Honeysuckle and Richard.
Yeah, well, I'm totally against you, lads. As you know, I'm a massive fan of Epatante. I thought she was absolutely electric in the fight at Newcastle. Her jumping was very, very slick. She comes into this as the reigning champion hurdler, and look, she had back issues at Kempton at Christmas, and seemingly Nikki is then ironed out. There's no better man than Nicky Henderson to get a mare ready for the big day. I think the one thing that may stop Honeysuckle is the good to soft in the ground. Most of her wins have been on heavy, really soft ground, over 4 up, back to 2 miles. She's going to look to stay. I think if Epatante's on her game, I think what's going to happen here is Epatante's going to be far, far too slick for her, and I think she's going to quicken away from her at the back of the last.
That's brave comment, because like Honeysuckle's slick jumper, like that's brave. Yeah, she is fucking slick.
She's slick on soft, heavy ground. I just want to see on good ground, what can she do?
Are we going to get good ground on them?
We have good to soft ground.
Yeah, which could change.
Yeah, and you can guarantee they'll water. I would say it'll be good to soft.
Yeah.
But how soft or how good is it going to be? Is the question. Is it closer to good than? Is it closer to good ground, or is it closer to softer ground? It's the tricky one.
I'd still be happy. I just think if Epatante's back, she's been there, she's done it. Like, Honeysuckle is coming from winning a mares last year. I know she's won an Irish champion on very, very soft ground. Yes, she is unbeaten, but look, I probably done me though loads of times taking on these champions, so I'm going to take on another one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just another question on that. Are we overlooking Abracadabras? Second, on an unlucky second last year in the Supreme Novices, to Sishkin.
Yeah, he for me as well. He was actually he's in one of my anti-post bets. But again, his jumping was very, very good in Down Royal at the start of the season. I just don't know, is he classy enough? I think with the mares allowance, I just think it's between the two mares.
You mentioned that one in Down Royal. Was that the race he bet St. Roy? Yeah, he was very good that day. I remember I actually tipped him up on, I'm not sure what page it was. I tipped him up on something anyway. But I think Epton is beatable, personally. And we've seen that with Silver Streak. I think Silver Streak's an each way shot, to be honest. Got taken out of that fighting fifth that Epton won at Newcastle, and then went on and came second in the international hurdle and was bet by a nose, basically, by Song for Someone, and then went on and bet Epton. I really think bet Epton well as well, not even. I know you said there Epton had a bit of an issue, but I don't know. I think Silver Streak's worked in each way shot. But I do think Honeysuckle is the one to beat here.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I would really love to see Honeysuckle just grabbing the bull by the horns, as I say, and going on. It would really it really cap off a great season already for her. Like.
Yeah.
Connections could have easily went down the mayor's route again, kept it simple, kept the unbeaten run, picked up the prize money, happy out. It was great to see.
100%. Speaking of mayor's hurdles, Dean, that is the next race. We'll start with you anyway. We'll let you both win this one.
It's a no-brainer for me. Like, it's Roxana. I think that the fact that they didn't go to the stairs, even though time has pulled out. She won this race, albeit fortunately enough. Was it 2 seasons ago? I think it might have been. Or was it not 100%? She won. She's a past winner. Like, the Skeletons have kept her in here. I just think this is... I just think this is overpriced by a long way. What Concertista has done has been mighty impressive. But, like, Roxana is really rock solid. Like, when you look at the form with the stairs and Time Hill and maybe being third, then going on and trouncing Magical Light, albeit over a further distance. Like, this is a good mare. Like, I think she takes all the beating in this.
To be honest with you, I'd say it's Skeleton's best chance of win at the whole festival. I know they have All Mankind in the Oracle, but it probably is Skeleton's main horse for the Cheltenham Festival. But I am going against it. I am going for Concertista, the one you're writing off, Dean.
I'm not writing her off. She's good. She's a good mare. But
yeah,
Roxana's better.
The one you're not betting, let's put it that way. She's been absolutely brilliant this year for me, like you said, Dean. But she's beaten Manila Melody twice. Henry Brahma came out and said that Manila Melody is very unfortunate to have met her, and in that era, like they're together in the same era, because he thinks Manila Melody is a very good horse. And look, she's coming up against her here again this time, and I don't know. I just think Concertista is gonna take a lot of beating in this one. I know it's a short price, but to be honest with you, for me, it's probably Willie Mullins' best shout of a winner on the first day.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go for a stablemate of Concertista. My sister Sarah, she's in there around 33-1. The big thing for me now with this mare is she was staying on in the Mountain Pipe when she was brought down last year. She was obviously going to be placed in that. She was impressive at Limerick back in October, and she looked like she needed the run at Christmas when she finished behind Concertista. Now, I just think this race, as we know, if you go back a couple of years ago, I think Willie Mullins landed this with a 50-1 shot. It's something of a race that could throw up the odd surprise. I would be taking maybe Concertista and Roxana too busy worried about each other and what they do, and they'll just forget about something else coming in. Keep an eye, she might just stay on into a place at 33s.
I can't go any further without mentioning Grey White Shark. She's running in this. Well, she's entered in this. Let's put it that way. To be honest with you, I'm quite doubtful that she'll even go to this. I'd say she could actually swerve Cheltenham. Yeah. Alan, you've a nice each way shot there anyway. And then me and Dean will be fighting out for his favourite on the day.
You can get 40-1 about my sister Sarah on Sky Bet there on as well. Just, one of the better prices.
Yeah, very. That's a big price. Even take a look at maybe the betting without Concertista. Even if you get it without Concertista and Roxana, she could run on into.
I was going to say you probably could get a market there without betting without both of them, like.
Yeah.
And then you can look at even Manila and Melody. Like she'd be a big price there, 22-1, given that she's been second to Concertista twice this season.
Yeah.
Even place betting, I'd say you get a decent price in the place betting.
There's loads of value. There's loads of value there if you shop around and look at it at whatever way you want. Like, you can get extra places or like, as you say, lads, bet me out. Because it's definitely, in my eyes, it's between the top two. And I think Roxana's going to be a wee bit too good for Concertista.
Yeah, well, just one more word. As you know, anyone who follows the Dundalk preview, we landed a wee bit of a tri-cast there on Friday night. Why doesn't anyone play the tri-cast here? Concertista, Roxana, my sister Sarah, a little combination tri-cast. You'll have all angles covered.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Definitely. We will move on to the Boodles. I'm going to be quite brave here. I'm going to say this is my nap of the whole day. Day one. Not my nap of the festival, mind you, though. But Stefanian for Dennis Hogan. Richard Johnson is booked ride. Alan, like you said, that's a very interesting booking. Stefanian is one I've been following since, Alan, you put me onto him that day where he came third. In Palm Beach, was it?
Yeah.
I did tip him up on the Anti-Post, well, whatever you want to call it, I suppose, Cheltenham Preview a few weeks ago at 25-1. So he's been well shortened since that. I think he's 9-1 now. And yeah, he did win since that, though, in fairness. But that win was definitely coming, and he won that very impressively. He won by about 10 lengths. And yeah, I am just very keen on Stefanian to win the Beatles. I think it's a great price, 9-1.
Alan, you want to batter right?
Yeah, I'm going for Hell Raid, trained by Paul Nicholls. Actually, I did a wee anti-post nibble on this for the Triumph. It was very, very impressive at Chepstow back earlier in the season. Done it in very, very easy fashion. Coming over from France, first run for Nicholls. Hasn't been great since. Was beaten in a Triumph Order Trail in Cheltenham, and then was beaten at 4-11 when Canton went third behind Paul Crokin. Now, I've seen Paul Crokin come out the other day and was fair enough as well. Now, this horse, I think, has had a wind up twice and is going to have a tongue tie on. Brainy Frost is going to be on board. Look, at 16-1, if we can get back to that Chepstow form, there's plenty of each way value here. I'd be happy to play each way at 16s.
I can't look past Rude's Altar. Now, each way, 20-1, massive price. Won the race in Nice the last day. Impressively enough, the last two winners of the Boodles have won the last two runnings of that race in Nice as well. Now, Joseph O'Brien hasn't had many entered up. He won this race 2 years back, so he does that as well. And Gordon Elliott won it last year. I like when a trainer goes down the same road with one and then takes it to the festival, because you can kind of get a gauge on how they're feeling. Like, Joseph hasn't got many entered for the festival, and the team, the string that he's bringing over, in my eyes, is going to have a chance. I think Druid's Altar 21's big price. I'm happy each way. I have him in an each way paid in anyway, and I'm happy with 20-1 each way.
Yeah, no, we'll move on to the last race of the National Chase. Next destination for me, Paul Nicholls, Harry Cobden. I know you're definitely going to ask me on this. I think Next Destination has been a very good hurdler and has followed that up in his chases. He's won 2 Grade 2s now, beaten the likes of Kaluki and Fiddler on the Roof. So for me, he's got the form, but he's just got to bring it to Cheltenham. And with Harry Cobden riding as well, I think he's the top choice of Paul Nicholls yard anyway for this.
Yeah, I'm totally against you, Ryan. I'm with Galvin. I just think it's tailor-made. This was his plan all along, and he's back now with Ian Ferguson, where he started out. He's going to be well settled, and Jack takes a ride. I'm sure. I think it was Jamie Codd that was going to be riding, but I have Roxana and Galvin on a nice double from a couple of weeks back, at nice prices, and I just think Galvin, this is tailor-made.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go too far down the market from that. The Willie Mullins trade, Lord Royal, is just going to stand out for a horse that might benefit for the extreme trip. Fella Thurles and Chase debut, and I think I spoke to you, Ryan, after it, and said that the downhill fence at Thurles kind of caught him out. He was second at Navan last time behind Mr. Hendricks. Now, that form hasn't really worked out. But the only thing about it was he battled all the way to the lane. He kept on well. That was over 3 mile that day. He done the same over hurdles over 3 mile, stepping up to 3 mile 5. He's in around 6-7-1 there. I'd be happy enough to play each way. Galvin probably is the one to beat.
Yeah. And boys, we can't not do this because we do it at every Dundalk meeting. Not next best each way. Dean, straight on spot. Go.
Straight on the spot. Galvin, Knapp, Roxana next best. Each way Druids Altar 20-1.
Alan.
Knapp, Epataunt in the champion hurdle. Next best, Ballyadam in the Supreme. And my each way will be discordantly in the Ultima.
Yeah, I'll go Naps, the Fanny, and the Boodles. My next best, I will take Honeysuckle in the champion hurdle, and my each way, I'll go Pim in the Ultima. And boys, later, what are you going for?
Concertista.
My lay of the day probably take on Appreciate It in the first, but if anybody's watching in, they know that Ryan's taking on Shishkin. He'll give them even money.
I'm taking on Appreciate It. If you listen back, that was one of the very first words that came out of my mouth. Was my lay at the festival.
Well, there you go. 3-1 Appreciate It. Contact Ryan on his Twitter.
That's grand, Ryan. What's the maximum bet?
A euro.
Where you go with €1? 10 cent.
Nah, I'll pass.
Oh, good. I hope everyone else will do.
Well, anybody that's watching on to enjoy the festival. Yeah, it's the strange one this year, but enjoy it from the comfort of your own home, and sure we'll get plenty of better camera angles than what you would if you're at the festival. So, hopefully everybody enjoys it.